What's up, people? We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I had to switch computers, but welcome to another episode of Under 1,000 Podcast. My name is Gershon. This is GPSnakes. Thank you guys for coming. If you didn't know, this is a podcast where I bring on another reptile enthusiast, breeder, hobbyist that has a YouTube channel, and we get to know them a little better, ask them a couple questions, learn about their YouTube journey and their reptile journey. It is a great way for me, an introvert, I know I don't seem like that, but I am, to network within the community and get to know more people and get me outside of my box. So I love doing that aspect of it. You guys have been rocking with me for a whole year, almost a year and a half now. Greatly appreciate you guys coming by, hanging out with us. Just getting to know me, getting to know our guests, and having a ball getting to know each other in the comments too. Greatly appreciate that, guys. Thanks for supporting this so much. But before we get into our guests, let's say hello to a couple people. Rob, what's up? Kjo, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Jeremy, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Boza Balls, thanks for coming through. Phil, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Morph Ambitions, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate everyone coming through the chat. So before we bring on our guests, you know what we do. We say thank you to our sponsor for this episode. So let's go.
This episode sponsored by LADYTIS Exotics. She is a new ball python breeder, but she's not new to reptiles. She's had them for quite a while. You might know her from her reticulated python videos. She has 7 reticulated pythons, and she handles them as well. She does amazing videos on how she takes care of those animals and how she handles them. So definitely go check that out on her YouTube. But she's starting a new journey with ball python breeding, and she's got some nice ball pythons that she's added to her collection. So if you are a ball python breeder and you want to give her some tips, definitely hit her up and let her know. But also welcome her to the ball python breeding world. But while you're doing that, make sure you go hit her YouTube, her Instagram, and her TikTok. Yeah, definitely hit those follow and subscribes, and congratulate her on just hitting 500 on her YouTube channel. Congrats, Nicole. Very proud of you. But you also can check out her live podcast she does on Saturdays called Reptiles and Cocktails. Definitely check that out. She has an episode coming out this Saturday. Thanks again, Nicole, for sponsoring this episode. Once again, go check out LADYTIS Exotics on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere you can.
All right, there you go. Thanks again, LADYTIS Exotics, for sponsoring this episode. Go check her out this Saturday. She has a new live podcast coming out this Saturday, so definitely check that out. Low Life Exotics, what's up? Thanks for coming through. So, guys, you know what time it is. It's time to introduce our guests. So let's say what's up to our guests for this episode. Hello.
You got my video, everything. I was already like, hey, and then there I was looking back at me, man.
Yes, I pull it off of YouTube. I always forget to ask people, hey, could you send me your intro? I don't know why I don't do that, but I just download it from YouTube.
You know what? It's almost easier now than messing with the big file transfer. We were talking about that the other day, man.
Yes. I was just about to start looking up Dropbox and start to figure out if that's
Yeah, I probably got to get on that, you know. But it was really funny though. You should see me. Like, I was joking with Chris on my show last night. Like, you'll know when you go to end the show, you click end, and then it asks you, do you really want to end? So you got like freeze frame.
I want to talk to you about that too.
I messed up my face.
After we finish our podcast, I want to talk to you something about what to do with that. But we'll talk about that later. That's behind the camera stuff. Welcome, Adam. Thanks for coming through. If you could go ahead and introduce yourself to people, let them know what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Adam, and I have a channel called Proper Royals. And Proper Royals started as just a way to document my family's journey from ball python hobbyist to ball python business. I mostly had decided that I wanted to figure out some of the business end of this. I still work my day job. I still work as a musician, and I want to work as that. So I like to work a little bit of a serial entrepreneur. But I document everything on YouTube, and I keep it pretty transparent. Like, I'll tell you if I make money or lose money. I won't share individual deals kind of deal, but none of it's proprietary. I think it's just working hard and doing the best you can for your customers and your guests and your entertainment. And then Tuesday nights, I do a live show, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And talk with other hobbyists, some extremely well-established, some people starting out like me or other people around me that have been really supportive. And again, I try and take a little bit of an analytical approach to it, but it's a little bit like, I don't know. It's more about just, hey, here's what I'm trying. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what's working. Here's what's not working.
Yeah.
Me thinking out loud and sharing that. I really don't keep anything bottled up. I don't know that I have anything worth bottling up anyway. But it's been a really cool journey, and that's how you and I got to meet each other over a month or two back now, huh?
Very true. Yeah, you asked me to be on your show, and I was like, "Oh, me." It's it's weird for me when people ask me to be on their show because I'm still weirded out that people listen to me and watch me and follow me. That still surprises me. I mean, I could be entertaining at times, but I'm like, you guys are listening to me. It's very humbling. And when someone asks you to be on their show, on their platform, I'm like super honored, and I greatly appreciate anybody asking me and love to do it. So it was amazing when you asked me.
Well, I don't know. I certainly could be accused of jumping to conclusions, but you always come across so genuine. You're down to earth. You were not snobby whatsoever to me. You always made time for me. And it seemed like, to be honest, I mean, it seems like you do so much for this hobby and this community, man. You run these lives. You purposefully put over new, young, not young in the hobby faces. Yeah. And you're kind of one of the servant to the community type of person. And that's after my heart. When I led big teams in restaurants, people would say, Adam's crazy, but you know what? He'll go wash dishes at the end of the night in his suit with you. He'll bust tables. If he says we got to flip the table, he's there at the start, getting it all out of there. And I don't know. It seemed like we would connect, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this guy and see what's up.
I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I started to I'm blanking on his name. There was somebody that helped me when I was trying to get like 200-300 subscribers.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is. I don't know if he stopped doing YouTube. I'm gonna remember his name later. But I like that he took the time to just reach out to me and help me grow a little bit on YouTube just because he liked my videos and he liked what I was doing. So that gave me the idea of trying to help others.
Right.
And trying to do my part within this community. I'm not the best public speaker per se, but I know that I had a platform where I could bring people on and showcase newer breeders on YouTube and help them like someone helped me. So that's what I kind of focused on doing, and it just kind of kept growing, and I just kept evolving with it and just going with it and not being afraid of it, and just it's got me to where I am now, and it's amazing.
Well, and I love that you just come right out with the pushing yourself into something that might be a little bit uncomfortable to get you out of a comfort zone. And I think that's vital in life, man. Like, what happens otherwise? Well, we're going to sit in an old folks' home and play cards all afternoon? Screw that. Let's go do something. Let's if you get too comfortable, you got to do something new. And that was part of me starting on YouTube as well. And especially at the time I know it's getting a little bit ahead of things, but at the time I did was really kind of a mentally dark time for me. I was going through the pandemic, trying to run restaurants, and the world was just crumbling around me.
Yeah.
And no matter what anybody feels about the politics of the pandemic and the politics of everything that went along with it, when you got a team of 30, 40, 50 people all looking at you going, are any of us going to be able to work tomorrow? And you go, I don't know, guys. And I was the guy that they looked to for that.
Yeah.
And that all was a pretty dark place for me. And YouTube was a real outlet. The ball pythons were a real outlet. And I was like, I could just talk and just be a stranger. And you know what? Here's the beauty of YouTube. If you suck, you just delete videos.
Exactly. The worst thing is no one will see them, or you'll get 2 or 3 trolls saying how bad you are.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next video.
But what people don't know the beauty of YouTube is, and us sitting here together is proof, YouTube finds your tribe for you. It's out there. Its whole reason to exist is to put people in contact with each other, creators and viewers that will mesh. And man, there's a lot of us out there. I had no idea, man. I had no clue. So,
I didn't realize the reptile community was so massive when I first got into snakes. When I looked on YouTube and seeing how many people were doing it, how many people were making connections doing it, I was just blown away how big it is. It's it crosses different states and countries. It's amazing how big it is. And YouTube, internet has definitely let us be able to find each other in an easier way instead of writing a letter and maybe seeing somebody in 6 months.
That's right. And really specifically to our hobby, I think it's going to continue to normalize reptiles as it's starting to take off some of the, I wouldn't say taboo, but the, whatever goes with not cats and dogs and birds.
Exactly. Making it a regular pet and not the furry ones you always think of.
Yeah. Like people are like, they'll be like, I'll chat with a few people that I trust type of thing in person. And they'll say, oh, how's it going? I'm like, I'm coming up on 1,200 subscribers. Really cool. And they're like, holy cow, there's 1,200 people out there. And I said, well, the best guy, the top dog in our niche has 3 million. And like,
exactly.
They're like 3 million. I'm like, yeah. I was like, all around your neighborhood, there's people with reptiles, brother. You just don't know it.
You just don't know it. That's the thing. It's amazing that people don't know. There's so many different communities, not even just reptile, just different communities within comics, within wood shop, within any different communities that is so big that people don't even realize. It's amazing.
I agree.
LADYTIS Snakes, thanks for coming through. So before we just got into a whole conversation, I wasn't even Let's go ahead. Like I said, Adam, you can check out Adam on his YouTube channel, his Instagram. He's thinking about doing TikTok. I know you were talking.
It's
there. Okay.
I just walked away from it. I haven't touched it in about 4 months. No, you can. Actually, it's really funny. There's one video I read on TikTok. If you could convince, if people didn't realize that the video ended, you would get repeat plays.
Yep.
So I did this like stupid dance with 2 ball pythons in my hand where I didn't move my body, but just my arms. I was going like this so that it would restart the video. And anyway, it's pretty dumb, but the people
I know there's a couple videos that do it really well.
Yeah,
and it transitions really real back into the beginning of the video, and you don't even notice
it. To do with it, yeah, and you put some stupid music to it and throw on a disco filter or whatever, man, and there it is. It's there. No, it's there. I just haven't. I never quite figured out the groove of TikTok. I'm starting to get some real traction on Instagram, and YouTube is going fantastic. So I'm comfortable with where I'm at, but
I mean, Instagram, you just post pictures every day. For like a year, 2 years, I posted a picture every day on Instagram.
Yeah.
And slowly your following starts to grow. You start to grow. Hashtags are very important. They say on Instagram, definitely got to hit those. But consistency is really big in any of these social media. Consistency.
Yeah. And now it's part of the thing with TikTok. But like we were talking about, anytime you get too comfortable, anytime I get too comfortable, I'll head over to TikTok and start back at, because here's the thing, the number of users and engagement level on TikTok per day worldwide is absolutely monstrous. Anytime Google and Meta, Facebook are changing their platforms because of what a third platform's doing, they're onto something. So I can either go, I don't get it, and turn into the old dinosaur that goes away, or I can figure it out. So
exactly, you either adapt or you don't survive, really.
That's right. Yep.
Everything's constantly changing, so you got to check it out. Mark, thanks for coming through. LKB Pythons, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Hell's Balls, thanks for coming through. Nicole, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Real Cohab, thanks for coming through. Genomic Reptiles, thanks for coming through. Ron, what's up? Thanks for coming through. I try to at least say hello to everybody. Christopher, what's up? Thanks for coming through, because I appreciate them coming to the channel, taking this time, hanging out with us. Keys Reptiles, if you didn't know, Keys Reptiles is actually doing a live right now too. Balls and things, go check them out. You can just jump back and forth between our lives. That's totally fine. We like that. They're talking to Ebony and Ivory, Big E. Oh, cool. Really cool dude. He's got some amazing projects coming along too. Very new. Gonna get him on the show eventually as well. Really cool dude. Definitely go check that out. What's up, Reggie's Urban Jungle? What's up? Thanks for coming through. So, Blue Ridge Pythons, thanks for coming through. So, like I said, go check out Proper Royals on Instagram, Facebook. You're on Facebook? Maybe not Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
I do my Facebook to where I post on Facebook, but it's honestly posting to Instagram at the same time. So it's double posting. So I hit them both at the same time. It's just easier to use the Facebook upload process than the Instagram itself sometimes. So it goes to both places. So I'll talk to you about that too. That's a great way to do stuff. But go check out his YouTube as well, which he's really close to 1,200 subscribers now.
Yeah, coming up, man. Matter of fact, I think 1165 or something like that before the show, somewhere in there. Nice.
I didn't even realize I hit 1,200 until you told me the other day when we were talking about something. You was like, yeah, you're about 1,200, so you should be good. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm still at like 102 or something like that.
Well, I don't know, man.
And I looked. I was like, oh, my God, I did hit 1,200. I actually realized it when I downloaded TubeBuddy. Was it TubeBuddy? Yeah, I downloaded TubeBuddy again because I'm gonna try that. Like we talked about. Yeah. I'm gonna try that. Gary, what's up? Thanks for coming through. So, Adam, this is a show where we come on, ask you a couple questions, get to know you a little better.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right in, get to the first question.
Let's do it.
Once I find it. So, how long have you had your YouTube channel?
So. It's kind of like you were talking about. I had to look at. I was like, I don't know how long have I had my channel, but it wasn't for this show. It was for something else. But the answer is November of 2020. So, 16 months now.
Okay, that's not bad. Definitely not bad. After getting up to 1,000 and monetized, that's definitely not bad.
Man, I was working at it. I'm Gershon, you know me a little bit better than maybe some of the audience does, although most of the audience knows me pretty well. But man, I can't sit still. I just work. So like when the pandemic slowed me down in restaurant, like if you have a career in restaurants, you're working 50, 60 plus hours a week, and especially seasonal gigs where I was working. So pandemic came, man, I was down, my head was messing with me, and I was bored out of my mind. I was just banging out video. I mean, just working videos, So now I enjoy it. It's like my creative outlet now. I'm just trying new things. So, but YouTube's been good for me though. But about 16 months in.
Nice. Not bad. So, I forgot to ask Joe last week. He was my guest. What do you think helped you get to that 1,000 mark? Was it that hitting all those videos, being consistent? What do you think helped you get to that 1,000 mark?
keep producing. Produce. Look at yourself. What do you want to do better? What didn't you like? I always say there's a million little things. Just try things. Like, watch this. Stupid little lamp on my desk. It's not pointed at my face.
Oh,
I got a little halo. It's a little glow. It's like the box on Pulp Fiction. What's in the suitcase, you know?
yeah.
And it's just little things that I find. This goofy little lamp here, you know, it just looks a little different than that, you know?
Gotcha.
So, but I didn't discover all that in one day. I wasn't like, oh, let me make my face glow. Let me put a pink light on me. You know, I've tried 9 different colors. I ended up like, I would have never thought pink was the one I wanted to go with. It works, you know?
Honestly, that is very true. I wouldn't have thought that either. Like, it does work, though.
It's just where it landed. So, but that came through doing all of those different things. And then I go through spurts. I watch a lot of YouTube, and then I'll get feeling like almost overwhelmed. Like, like, what do I have to add? Who do I think I am jumping in the middle of this? There, you know, where you start get this self-doubt because there's so much good quality content out there.
Very true.
So you can't get caught in the comparison trap.
Yep.
So I try and balance between finding inspiration and things I like. So like LADYTIS, there in the audience, Steven, I was watching theirs and I was like, damn it, if they don't look good on that, and I called him. I was like, Steven, what the hell? What camera are you using, man? What is it? Sure enough, he told me. I went and bought it. It's the Canon M50 Mark II is what it is the one. So, but that stuff takes time, and you just got to keep working at it. And we all got different resources. I had to figure out, you know, we've all seen snake rooms where we're like, oh, how come I can't have that? No, we're just on different parts of journeys and getting by with the resources we have, you know?
This is very true. I always tell people, people ask me what to do for their first video, or why should they start a video, or why should they start YouTube, period. And they're always, well, I don't have the stuff they have. This person is already breeding. I'm not even going to breed for another 2 years. Why should I start it? I was like, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. This is your journey. You're doing YouTube for you. Other people might get enjoyment out of it and might learn some stuff with you, but this is for you. So you do what you enjoy on YouTube first. And then every so often ask people what they would like to see, but mainly it's you. Be the you in YouTube. Oh, I like that.
There you go. Oh, I like that.
Somebody clip that.
I got I agree. I'll put it 2 ways really quick. I got a really close buddy who's like a brother to me, but we always we worked in restaurants for a long time. He's a close-up magician as well as a really great restaurant operator. And he used to always say to people, he would do the magic like in their hands, like use it like close up. And he would always, you know, at the end of it, it was always you are the magic. But he would, when he was leading teams in the restaurant, like if the people weren't the magic, we would just have machines fly the food out to the table. Like we want the people, we want the service, we want that interaction.
Very true.
And so that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it too, and you and I were talking about this, Gershon, the other day, but I think it's good for everybody to hear. You don't have to be an expert on YouTube. You can say, I'm just me, and this is what I'm doing. That's like seeing your neighbor mow their lawn, and it's an okay yard. Like it's not to perfection. They're just the dude mowing the yard, just like you. And then you go grab a beer together or whatever, and suddenly you're friends. And that's what YouTube is as valuable for as expertise and you know, factual education, I've found.
Yep. M-Tip Reptiles, thanks for coming through. Yeah, 100%. You're not gonna be a professional on YouTube. You're always gonna make mistakes. No matter how long you do it, you're still gonna make a mistake.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the mistakes you're gonna make. Learn from those mistakes and be better later. You always have room to grow in any aspect of YouTube, snake breeding, life. You have room to grow. You're always learning. Don't ever fall into the trap of not learning and not evolving what you're learning and how you do stuff. But give me 1 second, Adam. I didn't plug up the computer, and we got 2 minutes. So while I'm going to go plug up the computer, we can go hit the second question, which is, what is your favorite codom and your favorite recessive? I can still hear you.
Come back, or you want me to go?
You go ahead. I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. My favorite Kodam. I'm a pretty classic, tried and true kind of guy. I'm probably not the trailblazer that everybody wants to hear, like the new hip thing. Like mine's probably Enchi, to be honest with you. Like
I'm right there with you. I love Enchi.
Like you can't go wrong. You may as well have it. I was talking to Chris Shelley over BNS Reptilia last night on my show, and his line was great. He goes, Enchi should have been named GHI because Enchi is the one that you got to have, man. And I was like, I'm stealing that. I stole it first day out of the gate. There it is.
Yeah, I remember when he said that. That is a perfect line. I love Enchi. Trying to put Enchi in everything. That's my plan. Enchi in everything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I've been loving and I don't. Those of y'all that haven't met me before, I actually don't do a whole lot with dominants and codoms. I really love recessives, but I like what I'm starting to see the potential of the really dark genes with a lot of the recessives. So I've got cinnamon and blackhead in my collection that are both breeding not only this year, but they're breeding right now.
Nice.
So I'll have a bunch of cinnamon het clowns as long as things go as planned this year. And then my blackheads are both het genetic stripe, and they're being paired to each other. So I'm hoping for a super blackhead genetic stripe visual. Ooh. And then I'd be really off to the races on both double hets and blackhead double het. Like I could put, if I got a male, if I hit a male, this is really big. Yeah, let's just this is where ball pythons are dangerous, because this is where you go, well, this is what I'm breeding now, and that'd be worth $10,000. I'm going to go buy $7,000 worth of thing. We can do that.
To not buy stuff before you get those eggs is very difficult.
The flip side of it, again, those of y'all that don't know me, is I had a batch of het-to-hets last year, and I didn't hit a visual on not one. And I had that one gave me 7 eggs. I had 7 eggs out of that clutch, not a one. So anyway, but if I were to get a super blackhead genetic stripe, every baby obviously would be het genetic stripe and blackhead. So then I could start running it through several of the visual recessive females, which would just be fantastic. And then what you asked, what was my favorite
so your favorite codon would be Enchi. So your favorite recessive. JT, thanks for coming through. What's Adam's favorite recessive?
So I kind of bounce around. I always give a disclaimer. Not everybody. People tell me that PODs are played out. PODs are still just the most stunning visual, just mind-blowing thing that you could see. And I'm still new enough, and like in the world of ball pythons, I feel like the child with just the eyes wide. I'm just like, oh my gosh, look at this thing, So I really love those. I'm really excited about cryptic and kryptons. I think kryptons are really accessible because they're kind of like a shortcut to recessives, because you can you get a het. You only need a het clown and a het cryptic will create a visual combination. So I love that. And they're very cool, and they're fairly new, and the prices on them are, the visual prices are very high, but the entry level prices are pretty low. So I like that. I'm loving candy. I am not in a position to buy any more snakes right now, but I've got a female candy that I don't know if I'm going to wait around and make hets, or if I'm just going to have to buy a candy. Maybe I found an Enchi candy or something.
Yeah, I remember you talking about a candy on the last on your podcast yesterday. Yeah, and I'm. It is close to albino. It's another form of albino, so I might have to start messing with it as well. It is beautiful.
It's so nice, man. It's and I know this is all subjective, and there's a lot of snakes that I haven't seen, but man, day in and day out, I open that tub and I'm just like, look at this animal, man. There's yellows, oranges, pinks. It's got the dark like garnet eyes. They're red, but they're dark red rather than like the orangey, less concentrated red than an albino would have. So I've got a couple lavenders. I'm excited to get that going. I feel like it's obligatory to kind of chase a dreamsicle, you know, so I like that. I'm working on those. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually just got an ovulation from my lavender albino girl, and she was paired to my lavender het clown male and my inchy clown male. So I'll have to see who's the father in that. I'm not even sure which one I want to be the father. Realistically, I would rather have inchy double hets to work on grails. That is the ultimate goal. But lavender albinos are pretty, and I've had people ask me for lavender albinos. Like, they know I have albinos, but they're like, hey, do you also breed lavender albinos? I like that purplish look to them.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make some of those as well. Also for myself to hold back some females to grow up for future projects.
Right.
Chris, thanks for coming through. Chris, congrats on the ultrasound. He just got the ultrasound. I've seen that. Hit me up if you could probably look on YouTube and find out how to use it. I only use 2 buttons on my ultrasound. I have the same one he has, only 2 buttons. So it's not that difficult to use, but it is an amazing tool to have. 100%. I was going to
say, so how many seasons have you used yours for?
This is the 2nd season I've used it.
Did you feel it was helpful last year or increased your
100%? The first year I used it, it let me know a girl that I was not pairing was like at 20 millimeters that I needed to throw a male in there, or she wouldn't have went that year. Right. And I wouldn't have found out she was a triple het. So it definitely saved me a year with that girl, her producing something, which was amazing.
And so it definitely came in.
Yeah, she did. She gave me 4 eggs.
Cool.
I think she actually gave me a split clutch because I got I learned that. So she's a 100% het clown pied who is POD-S het albino. I bred a clown yellow belly het, a pied yellow belly het clown to her, trying to get clown pieds. Didn't hit clown pieds, which sucks. I did hit, and I also bred a clown het albino to her. So I got 4 eggs. I got 2 clowns, 2 albinos. So it let me know that she was a triple het, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
I have way different plans for her now.
Yeah, all of a sudden the fun just came out, right?
Exactly. But the clown, I hit 1 clown and it didn't make it out the egg. The other clown came out the egg, but the other clown looks totally different than any other clown I've produced. So I'm thinking it might be a yellow belly clown. Cool. I'm raising it up to pair it to another het animal to see if I get yellow bellies to figure out what's in it. But I'm also going to send the shed to, what's her name?
Hannah Seidel. There you go.
Yes, to find out. Get the genetics. Exactly. So either way it go, I should know. But it's an amazing looking clown. I wish it was a female. It'd been a lot easier to hold back, but it's a male. So, but I'll get to breed it sooner than later.
You can put it to work much sooner, though.
But then it also might be what I'm assuming it is a clown yellow belly, 100% het pied, 50% POD-S het albino, because the female is 100%. So it could be a visual double het recessive male. So that's a powerhouse right there.
Heck yeah, exactly. That's worth keeping anyway.
Exactly. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens with that in the future, but I'm definitely trying to figure out what he is. But we got off topic. What is your favorite recessive? Is it pied or is it candy? I know those are your 2. I'm pretty sure you're juggling right now.
Yeah, I mean, Desert Island, only take 1 with me.
That's that look. I love that look in people's eyes, like, oh my gosh.
I feel like Stones of the Beatles. What horrible world do I have to choose one or the other in? Like, I'm not going to that desert island, man. I got my island. It's in my room, and I built it, and I put both of them in it. There you go.
Yeah. Understandable. So we'll say pied with a second follow up by candy. That would make sense.
And I'm loving. Again, I know it's super popular, but I'm loving clown. There's a reason it's so popular.
And so versatile.
Some of it is just, what resources you have, man. I ended up gathering some clowns in my collection. So yeah, I'm going to like them. I got them. Am I going to hate them? Let's put them to use. Let's love them, baby. So
exactly. Samson, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. That would definitely be. I definitely need to look into candy because it does look amazing. Krypton and is it Cryptic and Krypton? I'm still learning how they work. I haven't got into the project because I'm not 100% sure how they work exactly. I want to be totally knowledgeable before I buy into it, just to be safe. But I do see the potential.
Yeah, and if you are you familiar with like Candino, the candy, and albino?
Yep.
It's exactly the same situation with clown and cryptic.
Okay.
So clown and cryptic make a Krypton, and albino and candy make a Candino. Okay. So you only need one of each. You only need one representative from each. So instead of, if you bred a cryptic to a clown, the babies would be 100% Kryptons. You wouldn't have any normal looking animals. So it's one of those allelic ones that does the rare double het visual, basically.
Okay. Whisker Strichter, thanks for coming through. Jeremy, what's up? Thanks for coming through. So it's okay. I never thought about it that way, being like candy and Candino and toffee and toffino. So it's like that. It's just a weird, different allelic recessive.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. That's a better way to think about it. It gives me a better way to wrap my mind around it.
Yeah.
Consider the projects I could do with it and everything.
Yeah, Jeremy Bod's right. He says Billy has a good video on it, and I would recommend Garrett DeMeyer has a pretty good video on it as well. There's just cool stuff that's going on out there, and I lucked into that one. That one's a guy sold me a really inexpensive female pastel, big girl, man. She's almost 3,000 grams right now, and I bought her, and I knew I was buying a breeder that had gone 3 years in a row and was going to get a year off, kind of thing. And the guy got back in touch with me like 6 weeks later, and he was like, I'll buy her back. I'll take her back right now. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to hold anything hostage, but be upfront with me. Like, what's going on?
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, and he just kind of got a little smarmy, He said, oh, I don't know, nothing. And he wasn't even good at it. I just went on his Facebook page, and on the Facebook page, he's like, boom, just proved this girl het cryptic. I was like, oh, guess who owns her now? And you blind me. Like, why would you be like, hey, dude, let me buy her back and let me send you one of these hatchlings. And I probably
exactly,
dude, amazing. Thanks for being up front. You put me ahead now because I got a visual instead of a het. Everybody would have been cool.
Yeah.
Nope.
There was a better business way of doing that than way he did it.
Yeah, and I just believe in being up front. But he had done a few other things. He just wasn't a great. I'm not going to name him, but he just wasn't a great breeder to
understandable.
He just wasn't a great breeder to deal with, and there, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, Jeremy B, thanks for coming through. So you guys know I am terrible at keeping up with the chat, but I see you guys having a great conversation. Every so often I'll find a question in there, or Adam will find a question and we'll bring it up. But you know how this goes. I get lost. We have a conversation. We're talking to each other. We're learning each other. So we kind of lose the chat sometimes. But we definitely appreciate you guys being in the chat, talking to each other, bringing up good ideas, great questions. We'll definitely try to see them when we can. Amazing feeders for you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Scales 13, what's up? Thanks for coming through. Go check out our live I did with him. It's in there's a playlist. I have a playlist. Do you have your stuff on a playlist?
Yeah, I got a bunch of playlists. One of the things I realized, I I saw it on the internet, so it must be true. There's a disclaimer. When you create a playlist, YouTube treats it just like you've created another video, or like you've created. It takes it as a piece of creative content. So as far as like keeping the algorithm god happy, sometimes I'll do that. So I've got 10 or 12 different playlists, and then each video I post, I try and make sure I have at least 3 playlists that I included in. So they overlap, but from a YouTube kind of hack operator standpoint, playlists are really nice because instead of the next video jumping to who knows what creator, it's the next video, and it can keep people engaged. Yeah, it's almost like a television series.
Trying to keep people on your channel. Exactly. I totally understand. So for all the people going to Tinley in 2 weeks, almost a week, who's going to be there on Sunday? I know I'm going to be there on Saturday only because I got to work Sunday night, so I'm only going to be there Saturday. Let us know in the chat.
Now this is what, I thought you were going to be like, for all you people going, have a good. You're like, yeah, I'll be there.
Well, it's only a 2.5, 3 hour drive for me.
Oh, so you gotta go, man.
It makes no sense for me not to go. But I do want to get to one of the bigger, other big shows in like, in Texas.
Yeah, in Arlington.
I think there's one in Arlington. I think there's I think it's a big animal show in LA or California. I want to go to one of those.
You got to come down to Daytona, man. It's
Daytona. I want to come to Daytona.
Yeah, I think Keys is right next to the Daytona show as well.
Keys goes all the time, so I definitely want to go down there. I'm working on making a show travel budget so I can be able to hit these shows. I'm trying, as you were doing, you're learning all about your business and growing this into a business. I'm trying to learn the business aspect of ball python breeder, and that will be a business expense.
That's
so
right.
it'll be able to be right off, and I'm trying to learn that aspect of it as well. But that's a goal.
Full of content. I mean, a trip to Daytona is like 3-4 videos right there, you know?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So Chris has a question. Adam, who are you putting the Ultra pin to?
I had to make a decision, man. We got a line of thunderstorms coming through the next 3 days, man. It's the spring tropical season coming in. So I looked at my visual recessives because I didn't want any possible hets with her. If I'm going to breed her, I wanted either 100% het or to stack some codoms in. So long story short, I ended up pairing her with a pot with my male pied. So they're in there together now, and I should have double het ultramel pieds this season.
Okay.
Up on the eggs.
Nice.
I had a visual clown that was ready to go, and I could have done a pastel clown with her, but for those of y'all that haven't met me, I just bought another breeder's whole operation, his racks, his thermostats, his animals, everything. I got it all, hatching racks, everything. And in that were 6 hatchling double het ultramel clowns. So I'm actually going to have one of those for sale because I don't need all 6 of them. I'll have a male double het ultramel clown. So I already had those ready, so I wasn't going to pair her to the clown again. But that's the one that I went with, Chris. The pied ended up getting the call today.
That makes sense. James, thanks for coming through. Jeremy asks, is anybody in the Moonshine project? I like it. It's just really expensive right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in 5-6 years, if I produce some stuff that allow me to buy into that project, 100%. But I think it's amazing. It has so much different potential to do.
A few guys in the audience might have them.
I know Reggie has some hats,
but I think somebody's got some.
I know Reggie has some hats. He's already showing them off. I think he might have some hats that are breeding this season. He might be able to produce visuals this season, actually, which would be amazing. But he's been putting in time and work in his collection, killing it, get some great odds. He had that Clown Desert Ghost he produced, amazing. That is a goal to produce as well for me down the road.
Yeah.
Creme de la Creme Exotics, thanks for Creme de la Clutch Exotics, thanks for coming through. Y'all know I'm terrible at reading. Before I knew this was going to be a interesting and fun podcast, but I knew it was going to get us off topic most of the time because we just like to talk to each other.
And I can't stay focused anyway.
So let's hit another question. What camera do you use to film your YouTube videos?
Very cool. I use it's a Canon M50, and it's the second version, so they call it the Mark II.
Okay.
And in a really selfish promotion, any of my newest videos have a link to the camera in the description. But it's about it's not a cheap purchase. It's one that takes some thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about $600, I think, right now on Amazon. I've loved it. I was forever asking myself if the video was good enough on the phone, if I should be doing something different. I don't worry about that now. Now I go on to worry about other things kind of deal. And one of my buddies put it really well. They said, this is the best camera for the dumbest people. And I was like, that's what I need, because cameras intimidate me. I don't know anything.
I need to just point and shoot. I don't need to be
got these phenomenal settings. You can YouTube. There's a whole camera YouTube community that'll, in a 4-minute video, they'll just say, all right, push this. You want to look like this? Push this, push this, push this. You want your videos to look like this? Push this, push this, push this. And of course, you got to figure out lighting and all the stuff we just talked about. But you'll find that. But I actually found the camera a little bit inspirational. It started making me more creative. Like, it sounds really dumb. My bug zapper light looks really cool on the camera. I was like, I'm going to do a video in the blacklight dark one. We were just going to do a video of blacklights one night with snakes. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but
hey, you never know what people might like that.
Yeah, and the camera picks it up really, really well, way better than a cell phone camera ever will in the dark. So that's the camera that I use. I'm a big fan of it.
Okay, that's not a bad camera. If anybody's interested in that camera, he has it in his description of his videos. You just put it on like your latest videos?
My latest ones, probably the past 5 weeks of lives, and probably the past 6 or 7 or 8 of the regular videos.
So if you are looking for a camera, Adam clearly likes that one and it works for him. He says it's pretty easy to use, does what it does, and has great photos and video. So that will be a camera you definitely want to check out. Go hit his channel, hit the link in his description, and go right to it.
Yeah, and you can message me too if you can't find it, or you're like, "Well, it's too much like a scavenger hunt." Just message me, or whatever. I'm good about that.
I'm debating in the next maybe year or two if I'm going to go to an actual camcorder or if I'll stay on my phone recording everything. I'm debating with the way phones are evolving pictures and everything, the video it has. I'm like, it might be just as good as a camera in certain sense. And some phones, they have lenses you could buy to put over your phone to enhance it. So I'm looking at that prospect as well as the channel grows. Want to make sure I bring as clear as possible video as I can within my budget. Never try to go outside of your budget. Stay in your budget. Be budget friendly. Because these things get expensive real fast.
Real fast. And you got to, I don't know the best way to put it. Yeah, Jeremy, it's coming, man. I swear, man, I created so much buzz. So many people are like, show us the snakes. And I'm like, man, I don't even know what snakes are where. Like, I got them labeled, but I'm just going to be like, here's one. So, but they're by the weekend or by Sunday, I'll have it up, Jeremy. I'm getting to work on that. As far as buying cameras and gear, at the end of the day, the quality of the content, and I mean the people and the topics are what really matters. Obviously, for things that we like eye candy, there's a reason that YouTube ball python channels do really well because you can't look at a snake on a podcast on the radio. So you got to have the visual part. So it is valuable. If it brings you more confidence and makes you produce better stuff because you are more confident, great. If you could put that $600 to use making money and driving revenue in other ways sooner, I say do that then, so it's the same way in music. You can't just go buy a $5,000 guitar and think you're going to be a good guitarist. It don't matter. You got to put the work in either way. So just matters
it's a tool.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a tool. Remember, it's a tool. You still have to be creative. You still have to have that eye for it. That tool just helps your eye. Never think that one piece of equipment is going to jumpstart you in something or make you more creative.
Yeah.
You make yourself more creative. It'll give you an ability to do more stuff. Yes. But you still have to have that creativity to do that stuff and that passion to do it. So
yeah, you got to put in the chops. Now, I will say in my situation, I'm in a new role where I'm actually working from home. And I will say, whether you wear a T-shirt to work or whether you wear a suit, sometimes people treat you differently if they see you in a suit. It doesn't make you a better or worse person. They just make assumptions based on it. Well, if your camera game is on point when you're living in a career of Zoom meetings, which I'm not saying is good or bad, but that does help too. It kind of cuts through the people assume I'm more professional, which is, again, silly. Like wearing a bow tie doesn't actually make you more professional. They just think, so there's goofy masks that you got to wear. So that fit into that. And again, you talked about earlier, I was able to write it off as an expense. So it doesn't mean it's free. It just means that it does go in the expense line and it's a better value at that point.
Gotcha. So before we hit our next question, it is time for tip of the week.
Okay.
Tip of the week is when I put up a post on my Instagram, Facebook, and you guys get to comment under it and give us a tip for reptiles, YouTube, or whatever you choose. So let's check out tip of the week.
This segment's sponsored by Proper Royals. Check out Proper Royals on their Instagram and their YouTube channel. Adam is a ball python breeder documenting his ball python business on his YouTube channel. He gives off amazing facts about how to use YouTube, how to be a ball python breeder, and the business aspect of that. Definitely go check them out, and thanks for sponsoring this segment, Adam.
So nobody put down a tip for tip of the week for this week. So Adam, when he comes back, we'll see if he has a tip. Do you have a tip?
I'll be right back. Keep going. I'm listening. Okay. I'm going to think of a tip. I got to buy myself 30 seconds.
Okay. So I got a tip. My tip of the week is on your Instagram, your business Instagram or your regular page, put your name in the thing somewhere, like your first name, so people know what to call you if they want to contact you about something, or if they want to reach out to you or want to talk to you. Let there be a name that they can say besides your business name, just to give people, every time I want to talk to somebody, it's hard if they don't have their name in there, so I don't know what to call them, and it's kind of just trying to be polite to say someone's name when you're addressing them. So that's my tip. In your Instagram or even on your YouTube, put at least your first name or what you would like people to call you besides GPSnakes. I mean, I don't mind you guys calling me GPSnakes, but I put my name in there too, so you can call me Gershon. So that's my tip. If you think that's a good tip, let me know. Put it in the comments. But I think it'd be interesting. That way we can all get to know each other too. I'm still terrible with names, so I'm still going to forget your name afterwards. But at least for that first time, I said it right the first time. 3 times after, it takes me like 4 times before I remember people's names. I'm horrible. But that's just me. I think that would be a good tip for you guys out there. Adam, what about you? What's a tip for you?
I would say a tip for me, if you really want to, on social media at least, connect and grow. It sounds crazy because I'm inviting more competition, and it's not competition. It's more in the market. start a show, start a conversation, find a neat angle to take where you can meet other people. Or if you're not comfortable starting a show, ask people if you can work with them, or ask people how they did something. Just start a conversation, because they're probably going to talk about you as well. And, you know, the sponsor part of it is one thing that's sort of transactional. But man, when you connect with somebody, like, I don't keep track of who's paid me. I mean, I do keep track of who's paid me. I don't separate in my mind of who's paid me and who, you know, if somebody's a good person, I'm going to tell people about them. You know, Jeremy Bod's a perfect example. I mean, he opened his door to me. Bod's Exotic Reptiles is killer, man. He invited me down, treated me like family. I hung out with he and his wife and his dogs one day and checked out his whole property. And,
nice.
You know, that's the word of mouth connections. And I don't even know. Jeremy's probably got 500 animals. I mean, it's unreal. And here he is putting up with a dude with a little camera and 20 snakes at the time. You know, it's just and there's been a ton of things like that. So just put yourself out there is my tip of the week. That's what I'll say.
Very true. Mark with the side tip. Mark, that's a great tip. Put the pronunciation. I can't say that word. Put the pronunciation in there.
He says what every one of us is thinking, man. I'm ashamed. I have to admit it. I can spell it. I call him by his name. I'm always like, Bosa, how you doing, man? You're back.
I'm always gonna mispronounce someone's name, but with the pronunciation, I can't say that word more than once. When you put it there, it does help people, and that's an icebreaker in itself, because people are trying to pronounce your name properly. I've had it every time when people are like, hey, am I pronouncing your name right? And I'd rather you ask me if you're doing it than just assume you're doing it right. Totally ask me. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, that's tip of the week from me, from Adam, and Mark in the chat. And there was a couple other tips in there too, guys. So you guys see them, put them on the screen. Great tips. If you want to be
Kika, there it is. We all know now. Kika.
Okay. There we go. If you want to be on tip of the week, usually I shout out whoever gives a tip, and they'll get a little shout out. All you got to do is put a comment on the post I put out right after this podcast. Put a comment down, reptiles, YouTube, life, whatever you would like, and you can be featured on the next tip of the week. Also, Adam, thank you for sponsoring tip of the week. Greatly appreciate that. Showing that love, appreciate it. So let's hit another question.
Well, everybody's on me about, you know, let's see some of the collect. I jumped. What I did was I jumped up and I grabbed.
Oh, did you?
I'll give a little sneak peek. So
okay.
You got to see something, right?
Okay.
So maybe they'll make their own YouTube videos and don't realize you got to edit and shoot and think about what you don't just like. Nobody sees the work behind the scenes. They're like, well, you've had them, 4 days? You should show them by now. I'm like, I'm trying to show them, man. All right,
let's show it.
So it's nighttime, which, of course, they think means it's time to eat. So exactly. These are both 2021 hatchlings. And let me see if I can't get this thing to focus just a little bit better. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And now my low light. Nope. Before. So this is an Enchi clown. Speaking of Enchi and you know everything kind of deal. There's an Enchi clown. Check out that head stamp. It's like the Mickey Mouse if he'll hold still.
So is that just the Enchi clown? Oh.
Yeah, this is Enchi clown, and I love this clutch, man. These siblings, they all got this handlebar mustache looking thing on their face.
Nice.
Man. I don't know where the sideburn snake is, but that's what I'm going to produce. That's going to be the come on. The focus is there. You see that thing? See that mustache look on it?
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah. Oh, that's clean.
So that's the Enchi, and that's actually a female as well.
Okay. Nice.
And then this one. I'll tell the story in the video, but basically the gentleman made a first offer and he was going to mostly get out of ball pythons. And I didn't know it, there was like 5 or 6 he didn't tell me about.
Oh,
And, we negotiated a little bit, and really what it was I could buy his collection, but I couldn't buy it if he didn't sell me his rack.
mm.
Man, let me talk to my wife. Let me figure this out. He comes back with a new price, and then he goes, oh, by the way, actually, I had about 6 others. And those 6 others were like, oh. Right there, sir. Let me get on. Let me explain. Let me discuss this with my wife real quick. And this is one of those. This is a sibling to the one that I just showed you. Same clutch. Okay. And this is a super Enchi. I'll put them side by side here in a minute. But even less of the teardrops. Let's see how clean the sides are.
Uh-huh.
And then Ted, she's got that mustache look as well.
Yep. But
if she'll hold still and the camera will focus, her head stamp is even more reduced. It's just spots.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now,
yeah, definitely a super.
I have no idea if the camera will focus on both of them while I'm trying to. The problem with the camera is that it's really good. It tracks
it's trying to focus on you. Yeah.
It tracks my eyeball. If my eyeball's in the frame, it'll focus on my face is what it does, which is neat.
Which is good when you're filming a video, but not when you're trying to show off snakes.
Yeah. So in my right hand is the Super Enchi and Enchi. So you can see more of the teardrops coming down the sides and a really kind of complete pattern on the back. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Super, much less of the teardrops and a broken pattern on the back. And then the head stamp, I can't show it right here. I will in the video, but the head stamp connects on the top. The coloration connects. On the Super, it's just islands on there. Oh, look at that. She is going to show it off. Well, look at her.
Oh, nice.
Super. Come on, buddy. There it is. That didn't focus, of course.
No.
Oh, there you
go. A little bit. Yep.
All right, let's see if this other one won't tag me in the face. Please don't. I want to talk about the Mickey. I'm about to get punched in the face here. Okay.
I mean, that would be great for TikTok.
Yeah, you want to talk about a viral video? I would have picked a hell of a video to sponsor because we would have gotten the views on that one, man.
Oh, wow.
All right. So that's 2. I bought 23 snakes from that gentleman. And they'll be out in the next video. I don't know that I'll do all 23 in one, but I'll certainly get through half of them in one of them.
Gotcha.
So let me pop these in back, and then we'll get to that next question.
Go ahead. Yeah, I didn't even realize he said that, Blue Ridge Pythons. I didn't realize he said, let me ask my wife. That was hilarious. Slipped that one right past. But yeah, those are some beautiful animals, some beautiful pickups. And Adam will be showing off all the animals he got on his big ball python pickup in a video in the next week or so, I believe. So definitely tune into that to see the rack he got, the animals he got. I don't think he got any rats with it because I don't think he breeds rats, but we're going to ask him that in a second and find out how he does his snake food. Does he breed or does he buy? But yes, thank you guys for coming to chat. While we're here, if you could go ahead and hit that like button, because apparently YouTube likes it when you guys hit the like button. And I like that YouTube likes it that you like hitting the like button. I said like button a lot, but go ahead and hit that like button if you can. Greatly appreciate it. Herb Collectors, what's up, Mike? Thanks for coming through.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Let's hit another question, which we kind of talked about a little bit. Do you breed or buy your snake food?
I buy every bit of it. I buy frozen thawed rats. I say every bit of it. I have a few. So the hatchlings I'll feed live. Of course, it's almost mandatory. If you get one that'll take frozen, it is really lucky and fortunate. A few things. I have no desire to breed rats, and that doesn't mean I have so much money that I don't care about buying them. It means that I've worked the cost of the rats into my business model, and I've taken that into account, that it's going to be part of what I do. And it also, it's sort of become a tongue-in-cheek thing on my show. Any super chats or stickers that's how I pay for the rats. That my goal is to pay for my feeders with YouTube. Excuse me, with YouTube revenue this year. So I'm trying it out. My other problem is I have a pretty severe allergy to rats. It just is the case. And the other part of the equation is the time. And I know everybody says it doesn't take that much time.
Oh, it takes a lot of time.
But even if it's 5 hours of my week, that's 5 hours I could be getting the next video out sooner, or I could be networking, or I could be learning, or I could be studying how to work my camera, or investing in a ultrasound, or whatever. I could be doing different things. So I'm not there. It's not for me. I'll figure out a different revenue stream to cover it. Other people will say, I like the rat time. It's quiet. It's just me and the animals, and it's my peaceful cleaning.
Yeah.
People in the restaurant think I'm crazy for breeding ball pythons. Breeding rats ain't up my alley, but so it's not for me. I just prefer. I don't like the. Again, I do it. Sometimes I have to. I don't. Even the most humane way. I don't like putting a rat. I don't like putting down an animal. We all know the challenges that can come from feeding live. I'm not saying they do, and I'm not interested in starting that debate of whether it's good or bad. For me, frozen thawed works, and I'm happy with it. And that's it. I press click, and the rats arrive. I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand the positives of breeding rats and the negatives of breeding rats. It can be its own business in itself. Like Chris, he said,
right.
It's a business in itself for him. I totally get that. You do have to outweigh the positive and negative for you in your situation, what helps you best. Right now, for me, I can't breed rats because my wife has a very strong nose, and I can't have the rats in the house. Until I can probably buy a shed outside, insulated, heated, cooled, all that good stuff, I'll be dealing with frozen thawed for a while. Right. I love frozen thawed. I love that time for me thawing out rats to check my snakes out, check everybody out, see how big someone is, see how thin someone might be, check out their mannerism, get to hold them a little bit. That's my time with my snakes. So if I start breeding rats, that time is going to be taken away from the snakes. That's how I look at it. But you got to do what works for you. If it works budget-wise for you, so you're not spending money on frozen rats and you're spending on feed and bedding, touche, and make it work for you. It's all optional how you want to do it. There's so many different ways to do this hobby, and YouTube, find what works for you and what helps you do it well. That's
where you're having fun. And where you're having a good time. Like,
exactly.
How do you fill your tank, and how do you keep your cup full? And I mean, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all those things that that we got to do.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. So let's hit this question, which somebody asked about in the chat as well. So Samson, this question's for you. What do you use to edit your videos?
Cool. Thanks for asking. What channel is Samson with?
Samson is, I forgot what it is.
Oh, all right.
He's on here. He's in the room. I'll find him.
Supposed to give answers, not ask questions, right? All right. Here we go.
That's not how this podcast works.
Right. This ain't Tuesday night, pal. It's Wednesday. All right. So I use iMovie, and it just happens to be that I like. It's funny. I worked for a guy who was a Mac nut, and he was like, you know what, man, I'm going to convert you. He's like, I'm going to buy you a work Mac. And I worked on it. I was like, once they click, Apple is really intuitive, and I really do like Apple products. So funny, though, I don't use Apple phones. I'm still on a Google phone. But I use iMovie. It's included in – I don't pay extra for it. It's just the software that comes with Macs. And it's pretty powerful, but it's still intuitive and not overwhelming. Like I messed with some trial runs of like what's the Adobe one or Final Cut or something.
Yeah.
And there's so much, like I'm just not ready. Like, holy cow, that's a lot. You know, it'd be like somebody brand new buying 120 snakes and being like, this will be fun. Yeah, you're gonna hate it, man. It was just too much. So I use that for some of the audio. Sometimes I'll use GarageBand as well. Same thing. GarageBand is a great audio producing and mixing, and it's mainly used for musicians. But I found that I could use it. Actually, I used to, on my very early videos, that's me and my son. I'm playing guitar, and that's my son yelling proper royals. And we made that intro on GarageBand. But by and large, it's iMovie.
Okay. So I know there's Adobe Premiere Pro, iMovie, Final Cut. I use KineMaster. I do all my editing on my phone. There are phone ones. So there's many different ways, either if you have a camcorder or if you're recording off your phone, there's many different editors. A lot of them are free, and a lot of them do just the basic cut, add music, add graphics if you need. If you want to get into more high-tech editing, which you don't necessarily need on YouTube, but if that's your passion is editing, go at it. There are programs you can buy that has all those extra bells and whistles to edit to your wildest desires.
Yeah.
So you have so many different options. Find which one is best for you, which one is easy, user-friendly for you, works with you, and think about the rendering. Rendering is the biggest issue with editing. Some programs take so long to render, depending on the program, your computer, your cell phone. It could take you out 3 hours to render 15 minutes sometimes. So that's awesome.
I like for the TikTok and the Reels and the Shorts that I was doing, Filmora, Filmora was a really user-friendly, intuitive phone app. You could, and there's another guy that's got a channel, and I forget his name, man. Blew my mind though. He told me he did everything on his phone, everything on Filmora.
Oh, and, really?
Yeah, I mean, he's got good intros. He's got good content. I was real impressed. It wasn't like you weren't like. I mean, I thought it was good content and good production anyhow. And then it blew my mind when it was just everything was phone on Filmora, and that's the one I went and got. Like I said, Filmora, I mostly just use. I only use for Reels and Shorts, which I do very little of right now. But
okay, that makes perfect sense.
Phil says, turns out Phil could shred. I got my 6-string here. I could do some strumming and singing, but Phil can go on a guitar.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Phil can move, man.
Was it Antonio Adams?
Antoine might, but it wasn't Antoine. It was gosh, I forget his name. I'll find it tonight.
I hate that mind part when you forget names. So that's the program you use to edit. So that's pretty good. So do you do the transfer over to your computer from your camera to your computer, huh?
I do. I was showing you this thing earlier, this little.
Oh, yeah.
I keep this with my laptop, have my camera, pop the little disc right in here.
Yeah.
One thing that's cool, though, and I don't use it. So I don't know. It's debatable how cool it is. I haven't figured it out yet. That camera has a Bluetooth connection. You don't have to. You can click Bluetooth. And then, boom, get the files right there. So you don't have to deal with the card in and out and all that. So that Canon's pretty cool. This has always been fast enough and forces me to organize where it goes and what folder and label it and all that. So I like it. But it might be one of those things that one day I try it just for kicks, and I'm like, man, this is what I should have been doing the whole time. I don't know. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Gotcha. So, Adam, we've come to my last question, but if you have a question for Adam, put it in the comments and we'll get to it if we can. But my final question, what is your dream morph to make?
I got a couple within, like, I say within striking distance. I'll say that within the next 5 years is striking distance for me. I think I can get a lavender clown before too long, which would be really, really great. I'm excited about some of these double hets that next breeding season I'll be able to start to put together. So I could potentially see a clown ultramel, which would be phenomenal. Axanthic clowns are coming down the pipe, and I do have I bought 2 triple hets this year, a male and a female triple het, pied Axanthic lavender. So that's probably a 10-year project, trying to hit a triple visual on that.
Yeah.
But that would be, I mean, just think about that. A pied Axanthic, so you got the lightning pied, so the gray and the white pied, and then you throw lavender into that with, bringing out some of the yellows and the faded purples that like a snow would have with red eyes, man. Whew.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Because we know what DG Axanthic clowns look like. But if you just take out the DG, put lavender, see what that looks like. So that'd be the way is lavender albino, or is there an albino that's snow?
They're both. You could get a albino snow or lavender snow.
Okay, so they still both called snow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be a snow clown.
Right.
That'd be interesting. So would you have any codons in that?
Maybe. I was making a list of my. I think I have more recessives than I do codoms, which is crazy. I know to say that.
That's a healthy problem to have.
Yeah, and I think what I'm going to find is that I'll probably run out of space to truly work all those recessive projects. Although maybe not. We'll see. And it's a balance of business and personal passion project, right? So, like, if I want this to be a business, I got to treat it like a business. I can't just chase whatever emotional thing I want to go after. But I don't know those answers yet. I could say that I believe that. I can't give the definition or the process of that. This is only my second breeding season, and if you watch my channel, you'll see that I didn't make a penny last year, and I'll tell you exactly how much money I lost because I keep track of all that and I'm honest about what I share. But I'm on the road and I'm getting there, and I'm very, very optimistic of this year. I'll know in the next 3 months what this year is going to look like for me, which is really a pretty cool thing. So, anyhow, I know that's a vague answer. Double recessives are what I'm really after.
It makes perfect sense. Like, you don't want to get ahead and you want to think about what you would like to produce and what you could produce. There's nothing wrong with that answer.
Yeah.
You're on top of the logic of it. You're not just like, I'm going to hit this. You're like, it's going to take me a while to hit this, and this is going to take me even longer to hit this, and I still got to raise this up after I hit it. That's what a lot of people forget, that even though you put these two snakes together, you might not hit that morph that you're trying to hit.
They're going to participate. Yeah. You know what's really funny? I've made an Instagram post in the last day or two, and I was like, man, this sounds real big time, but the odds of me doing this are like 1 in 32. So I can write whatever I want on Instagram, but what's going to be in that tub in 6 months, we'll see,
Very true. Very true. So Leviathan snakes, I'm pretty sure I said that right. I'm terrible at words, guys. They ask, what do you think qualifies or attributes for a new breeder has potential of going far in the hobby? This is a very good question. Adam, you want to go first?
Yeah, just from my personal experience, you gotta hit it hard and work your butt off, but then you got to be patient and go slow. So, like, you got to do all the hard work with an urgency every day. Because let me tell you, the poo will pile up, the smell will pile up. You'll come to resent the animals. Suddenly they're not healthy anymore, and you're not a good owner if you're not keeping up with them. But then, so you got to do that every day, and you can't miss that. Like, you got to do that with urgency and know that that's what you're going to be in for. But then you got to still have the balance to go, all right, I have to wait a year right now just to see what happens, just to know if you're going to get a clutch like I did, where all 7 of them miss even one. All I wanted was one visual. Like, there was somebody watching. My son was in the video, and it was just the sweetest thing. He just looks up at me and he goes, Dad, I'm really sorry you didn't hit a pod. And like, everybody was like, oh my God, I'm losing. You're crying. And not me. I'm not crying, but it's this, like, it's a year-long buildup that you're going to have to be patient with.
Yeah.
But you can't be patient in your thinking, your planning, your hard work, your cleaning, all the non-glamorous stuff that nobody sees. So that's what I would say. You got to have the urgency and the determination, but then the patience to see it through.
Yeah. For me, it'd be seeing that person has the ability to adjust. That's one thing that I didn't realize breeding ball pythons, you have to be able to adjust at a moment's notice. From male not breeding, that you had plans for him to go to like 7 different girls not breeding, to be able to adjust your plans and still make the right decision, or make the best decision for your collection and what you're breeding. Right. And to be able to adjust from males not breeding to females maybe not going, to stop eating, to an animal getting sick, to your rat supplier going low, or where you get your bedding from, where your YouTube channel is not going, or where you have to be able to adjust all these different things at a moment's notice sometimes, but still be in that moment while you're doing it. Because some people adjust and get out of that moment and don't enjoy the moments of breeding ball pythons. There are so many beautiful moments, from a snake taking his first breath, to a girl you raised up dropping her first clutch, to your first lock with a male that you produce yourself, he getting his first lock with a female. Those are moments that you need to cherish and live in them, and not just shoot past them, because that's the beautiful part about breeding ball pythons, is those solid moments throughout the process, and realizing it's a process and it might not always go the way you want.
Right.
Trust me, I've been trying to make albino clowns for 5 years, and I finally did it this year, but it was a process.
Yeah.
It was a process.
But the flip side of some of that too is adapting when unexpected opportunities come around.
Well,
because they do as well. You never know when a friend's going to call you and go, "Hey man, I got this new job. I can't take them. Can you help me out, or you want to buy them?" Well, I would tell you, 2 weeks ago, I had no intention of having that rack and those snakes and that road. Here we are, so evolving and adjusting that way as well, man. I agree completely.
Yeah. So that's our show. Adam, is there anything you would like to promote, let people know about, that you got coming up? Hint, showing off all those snakes you just bought. Anything you let them know to look forward to from Proper Royals in the future, in the next coming weeks, in the next coming months?
We'll go through the snakes that I got. I got, like I said, I got 23 new ones, which again made me adapt a little bit of breeding plans, but we're well into this season, so they're kind of set. But content business is about to pick up. We'll have eggs soon. We'll have hatchlings soon. We'll have all that kind of stuff. Everybody, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on my channel, I do a live stream just like this. If you like what you saw in me tonight, I'm in the captain's chair on those nights where Gershon's sitting, and otherwise, but same. This show may as well have been could have been on my channel. It's this kind of content through the night. So every Tuesday night, I'd love to see it. Come hang out. That's really what it is. It's a conversation and people hanging out, geeking out over snakes. So I want to say a special thank you to you, Gershon. You do a heck of a lot for this community. You've done a lot for me, whether you realize it or not. You've inspired me. I was going to, well, now I left it hanging. I got to say, the whole sponsorship avenue, considering that, was because I saw you were having some success with that. And I said, how do I do that? How do I make that of value to my customers and to the partnerships that I'll establish? And that's what led me to establishing the Proud Partner program that I have. But that started with you. So if you ever feel like, man, I don't know if anybody's watching or what I'm doing, you are making a difference. And it's awesome to see you in this hobby, man. And I'm happy you're part of it. I'm happy to be a part of it with you.
I appreciate that so much. That it just warms my heart. Thank you so much.
I mean it.
Yeah, you are amazing, man. I've been checking out your lives, watching how you do your thing, and just I want to pick your brain from the business aspect of this ball python breeding, just to learn the way you think about it. Like when we were talking about the partnership program with me and you, the way you thought about different ways of doing it that wasn't necessarily just money. I was like, I didn't even think about that. And that is also an amazing way to do it. So that's amazing.
One thing too, another video coming up, Gershon and I were talking on Instagram, and we both were like kicking back and forth these aha moments. And finally I was like, dude, we gotta have a phone call. And then I was like, screw that. Let's just make a show. We just filmed an impromptu show, and I haven't touched it. I know I owe you a copy of it. We made a deal on the spot. I'll record it. I'll share it to you. You edit it how you want. I'll edit it how I want. We both get the content. So that'll be coming up, but that's just two breeders, YouTube content creators, ball python YouTube content creators having like a jam session, and we actually made a business deal right at the end of it too. Locked that right down, and that's all on camera too. So that'll come out, various versions. We'll both have our own version of it.
We talked about a couple different things that could be like 3 different videos.
We even talked about it in the video how we were going to chop it up. So it's all there. You guys can see the behind the scenes like creative session that went on, and that's just from, I don't think either of us woke up that day going, all right, I'm going to network and figure out how to come up with new ideas today. It just happened because of this community putting us together. So
very true. Very true. Leica, thanks for coming through. Appreciate that, Blue Ridge Pythons. I mean, if you want to send that to them in the email, I'll be happy. That's great. That's great. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Before we go, we have to thank our sponsor for this episode. 1 second.
This episode sponsored by LADYTIS Exotics. She is a new ball python breeder, but she's not new to reptiles. She's had them for quite a while. You might know her from her reticulated python videos. She has 7 reticulated pythons, and she handles them as well. She does amazing videos on how she takes care of those animals and how she handles them. So definitely go check that out on her YouTube. But she's starting a new journey with ball python breeding, and she's got some nice ball pythons that she's added to her collection. So if you are a ball python breeder and you want to give her some tips, definitely hit her up and let her know. But also welcome her to the ball python breeding world. But while you're doing that, make sure you go hit her YouTube, her Instagram, and her TikTok. Yeah, definitely hit those follow and subscribes, and congratulate her on just hitting 500 on her YouTube channel. Congrats, Nicole. Very proud of you. But you also can check out her live podcast she does on Saturdays called Reptiles and Cocktails. Definitely check that out. She has an episode coming out this Saturday. Thanks again, Nicole, for sponsoring this episode. Once again, go check out LADYTIS Exotics on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere you can.
There we go. Thanks again for being a sponsor, Nicole. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you again, Adam, for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure, man.
So much. If you haven't, make sure you go hit the Adam's YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok in the description down below. His links are there. Go click them. Go hit those follows, subscribes, and greatly appreciate you guys coming to the chat, talking in the chat. showing up, showing the love. Greatly appreciate it. Always forget to do promotions. I never promote myself like I should. People keep telling me that. I got videos coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, I got a video coming out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So check that out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even sure what video I'm gonna do. I have 2 ideas. I'm gonna record it later tonight or probably tomorrow morning. So look forward to that. A little peek behind the curtain. But thank you all for coming. Appreciate it so much. Adam, don't leave. I'm going to do a little time thing and we're going to talk a little bit. But appreciate you guys coming. See you guys later. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.